Do you know what? It's actually a good question, this particular one. What does branding do? Um, Simply because, and to be fair, it's a question that I love answering to people, especially when I see their faces when I actually explain what does branding do, because it's something that a lot of people overlook, and it's an obvious thing that is staring you literally right in front of your face every time you look in the mirror, or equally every time you establish something new about yourself. Um, but it's an obvious thing that people don't quite get to grips with simply because they just don't understand how to. And this particular video is going to help you to understand, quite literally, what branding can do. And it's important to know, simply because it will be the difference between you constantly feeling like you're being drowned out by the noise of your competitors or whoever else is out doing something similar to you, versus you talking with power, with just with confidence, with certainty, even more importantly, about the greatness of what it is that you do, why it is that you do it, and equally who it is that you really, really do it for. Now, a lot of the people that I've helped, not only in the past, but even today, my clients are key examples as to how branding can help them and help people like you and help business owners, entrepreneurs, especially like yourselves. With the ways that they've worked, or even I've worked with them, I've helped them to establish that not only are they more than what they see, but equally by understanding key messaging, key points that they have within their values, they're also understanding that they are a source of representation. And being that source of representation is also what adds to their drive for doing what they do. So I want to put that little question to you right here, right now. Start thinking about that as I keep continuing to talk about exactly what branding can do within this particular video. And before you get stuck into it, as always, make sure you stick around to the end, because I'm going to share with you some key principles that will help you to start taking action today. Not tomorrow, not next day, but literally today, to get involved with, so you can start elevating and boosting the awareness of what it is that you do and why it is that you do it. And more importantly, folks, please make sure that you go ahead and like, subscribe to this channel, because I'm super aware of all the people who are actually watching my videos, which is absolutely brilliant. So thank you very much for that. But can you go this one step further and actually become a subscribed member? But then also, I'm a strong believer of each one teach one. So meaning that you actually go ahead and share this particular video as well. Business is a ripple effect, I'm sure you can agree. But equally, more importantly, the message of understanding that you are more than what you see is the ripple that I want to make sure that gets to as many people as possible, especially as a business owner, especially as a service-based entrepreneur, and especially as a product-based entrepreneur. I want to make sure that all those who are building up their brands, including personal brands as well, you get to understand and know that yes, you are more than what you see. And yes, once again, representation really, really does matter. So folks, let's get stuck in this and really get to grips as to what I'm about to share with you. Let's go. So as I said, we're going to be talking about what does branding do. Branding, I kind of touched bases on this before, but branding essentially sets you apart from the rest. Branding is the key component to help you to make sure that you are standing out, showing up, rocking up, however you want to go up. Branding is a key component that will help you to set yourself apart from all those who are doing something similar to you. Branding is the one thing that a lot of people tend to miss out on or even overlook, simply because one, they don't understand it, or two, they've been misled with the idea of what it's actually about, or three, they just can't be bothered with it. Simply because they feel like all other assets of business are, more important, which is true, but at the same time, I bet if they understood that branding could actually help make all those other assets make sense, business owners or personal brand developers will definitely give it a hell of a lot more attention. Simply because, yeah, it's the difference between you constantly feeling like you don't have a voice versus you knowing exactly what to say, who to say it to, and why you're actually saying it. There's no more hitting and hoping with branding. It's a clear-cut, purposeful kind of a way of a move to be able to make sure that you are hitting your goal and your targets, because you now know who you're talking to. As I said, you now know who on what to say, as I said before, and equally again, as I said before, you now know who you should be working with, why you should be working with them, and equally exactly what you can do for them. So folks, when you get to understand and get to grips with the idea of what branding can do, yeah, it's a key, cut, clear and concise way of making sure that you are getting to grips with the right audience, getting to grips, even more importantly, with the reason why you can actually help them, and getting to grips with the idea of why you actually are the example that people need to see. Because with your brand, with the message that you're actually putting out there, please know and write this down if you are the person who types, who likes to write notes and so forth. Please make sure that you know and understand that repetition equals reputation. The more and more that you are putting out your message, the more and more that you are putting these things out there, showing up in a specific kind of a way that is congruent to your brand, is the more and more that people start seeing you all over, even when you're not actually there. And here's what I mean by that. When you get to grips with what your brand is about, when you get to grips with who it is that you're speaking to, why it is that you're speaking to them, and more importantly, what it is that you can actually do for them, things like your colors, things like your words that you're saying, you're actually planting subliminal messages within other people's brains, right? And typically when I say to you, oh, I want a nice fizzy drink, that's, I know it's I can't think of the name right now, but it's red and it's, what automatically comes to mind? Now, 9 times out of 10, you're going to think about Coca-Cola versus Pepsi. There's a reason for that, because brands like Coca-Cola have a clever way of putting out messages or putting out their beliefs, so much so that it starts being imprinted within you. And the more and more you start seeing the color red, the more and more you start seeing red with white, more specifically, you're going to start remembering them, especially over Pepsi. Another example, for example, is the idea of McDonald's. Now, I'm loving it. The color M, the arches. At the time of my recording this, it would have been a campaign that would have gone out all with the idea of raising your eyebrows, right? And sometimes that's all you need to be able to create the letter M, but more so importantly, it's creating that little message again. The M that we all know, the M that, yes, it's in yellow, and the M that also includes red within its branding. It's the M that will help others to always remember the idea of Coke. Whenever you're raising an eyebrow, oh yeah, I remember that advert. Oh gosh, yeah, I'm a little peckish. Sorry, I meant McDonald's before. I'm a little peckish. What is it for you? There's somebody I actually worked with, Carrie Griffiths. Now, you would have seen her in one of my videos, previous videos. We were talking about the idea of how to stand out as a musician, as a songwriter, and a singer in general, but even more specifically within the music industry. Not only have I helped her, but I've helped others as well to be able to do exactly that. Now, Carrie has a slogan, stay hydrated. The amount of times that people would just pick up on that, stay hydrated, and remember Carrie off the back of that. What is your slogan? What is your way of being remembered? Your brand can actually help you to do that. Again, when you're not even there. Key words, key messages that you're constantly putting out there. And consistency is the clue here, by the way, folks. The more and more you're putting things out there, the more and more you're sharing, is the more and more that these messages are going to be staying with all those who are hearing you, all those who are really resonating with what it is that you're doing, and more importantly, all those who actually want to come and work with you. So really pay attention to that. Branding and what it can do, my goodness, it plays a huge role to the growth of your business, to the growth of your awareness in general, whether you are a business owner or entrepreneur, service-based business and so forth, versus you actually just building your personal brand. Branding and what it can do for you is huge. Now, I'm going to leave it there. I want that to sit with you just for a moment or two, and essentially use these key principles that I now want to share with you. To gain access to them, all you have to do is click the link that's underneath this particular video. Click on that link, then go ahead, enter a few of your details, and what I'm going to do is just go ahead and send you some key principles that I've used not only for myself, but I've also used with my clients. Not only in the past, but today as well. It still works. And it works because they are simple key principles that I want to make sure that not only do they resonate with, but equally their audience can then go ahead and resonate with them after as well. If you're looking for something that will create sustainability, that will create consistency, that will create an idea of looking together as a whole, but more importantly, looking for a way that will help you to start building on connections that actually make sense to you, then make sure you get to grips with these key principles. Get to grips with them, because they're going to help to boost the awareness of who you are and why it is that you do what you do. More specifically, they're going to help you to understand how you can show up in a way that doesn't allow you to lose yourself in the process. So folks, go ahead and click on that link in the description box below. Like and subscribe to my channel as well. Please go ahead and share this with others who you think that could really benefit from a video like this. And as always, folks, I will see you on the other side.